this. There's nothing here that might interest him. Yes, definitely. He definitely wants a dashboarding type of application, so we're going to use Heimdall for him. Copy that. And we're going to install Heimdall. Same thing, defaults are good enough. See what else is there. The last two things we're going to install for him is Vault Warden for it's a Bitwarden server for storing passwords, and then also Google, so you can use Google without all the tracking and whatnot. So we're going to hit copy here, going to hit paste here, hit enter. Yes. Use the default settings. This is more than enough. Now, Vault Warden is taking a long time because it's building it from source. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of understandable. So, let's collapse this. It should be done fairly soon. Okay, click copy here for Google. And we're just going to wait until this is done, and then we're going to paste it. Now, as you can see, something like this, if you've got a lot of compute resources that you're using, like for example compiling packages from source, yeah, I mean a 4-core 6500T is going to be a little bit slow, but that being said, I mean listen, you're not running a mission critical thing, and I guess you can wait a little bit, right? But I mean if you don't have the patience, then yes, getting a more powerful CPU would definitely be the way to go. That being said, I mean, it's only during this compilation time that it's taking some time, but as you will see, and I will show you that during use, it's going to be pretty snappy and quick. So we're just going to let this go, and I'll be back once it's done. So Vault Warden didn't give an error. Not sure exactly what's going on, but let's shut this container down. Delete it. And let's do it again. This time what we're going to do is we're going to... Oh, sorry. This is Google. Let's just do that first. It should be fairly quick. And we're going to look at Vault Warden again. Copy that. There we go. Google is installed. Or it's installing, rather. There's a couple of other maintenance tasks that I will be doing, but the video is pretty much close to its end. I'm not really going to go and explain how these Docker containers can be used or should be used. That's completely out of the scope of this video. But definitely let me know in the comment section below if you would like me to go through, some of these or most of these or all of these, and kind of explain how I would use them or the way to use them. Okay, so Google is installed. Next step is we're going to install Vault Warden again. This time we're going to be doing it not the default settings. Just want to see what's going on here. Sure, 6 gigs is okay, 4 cores is okay, 4 gigs of RAM is okay, all this is okay. And I want to enable verbose mode so I can kind of see what's going on, right? Just see if I can narrow down the errors. Awesome. So I can see here that it's installing Git and the build essential tools. So it is going to compile it from source. So Vault Warden is a Rust-based application written in Rust, so it's doing all the compilers and whatnot. So it's downloading all the crates, and it's basically going to compile it, right? So you can watch it while it's happening. Perfect. So now that it's actually compiling all of these, we can see that it's pegging the CPU, pretty much at full. Again, compiling does take a lot of CPU resources, and if the error occurs again, we will be able to see exactly what's causing it. Now, we might just scrap this if it's causing a lot of issues. I will diagnose this a little bit later. I might even, email T-Tech and tell them that having issues with that particular script could be a script issue. Okay, so there was an error compiling Vault Warden. I think that there's probably something either wrong in the script or from source or whatnot. So let's not worry about Vault Warden right now. I will figure out a different solution for him. The objective of this video is not to, kind of go through the nitty gritty of how to set up each container in VM. It's more about the easy way out, which can get you up and running quickly. So we're going to delete this for now. And let's do one last quick sweep and just check if there's any applications that need to be installed or any scripts that need to be done. Let's see here. This is, of course, there's a dark theme if you want that. And we are good. We should be good to go. This server is now prepared and ready to go. As you can see here, I mean, with all of these, granted, again, they're not being used. I do understand that, but even with all of this installed, the CPU utilization is very minimal. It's idling at 5%, and this is more than enough. So let me give you a quick example of the performance. IPA. This is 116, so let's go to this IP here. And this was uptime Kuma, so the IP is 3001. So let's do that. 3001. As you can see here, look how fast it was, right? It's barely touching the CPU. So let's just set it up quickly from admin. Some temporary password. Okay, fine. Create that. There we go. That's how quick it was. You could see that it's very, very snappy, right? Um, let's do a little bit of settings here. Let's just change this to dark mode and we're done. That's it, right? Again, you can see how quick and fast that's running. Let's look at something else. Let's look at Docker. Well, so we go to Docker. We did the Docker LXC. And you can see here the portainer interface is 9000, so port 9000, right? So let's figure out what the IP is. So IPA, The IP address would be 120, right? So 10, 10, 10, 120 colon and then 9000. There we go. Your Portainer instance timed out, restarted, sure. So we do a reboot. This should be very, very quick. And it's back up. And there we go. And there we go. Portainer is quick. It's set up. Um, Very easy. There we go. Local environment setup. Portainer is running. You can see here. Sorry, Docker is running. Portainer is set up in here. You can see here that it's running Portainer perfectly. And I'm clicking around. Things are super duper responsive, and really nice that they set up the app registry and everything here also for you, right? So again, super, super quick, super nice. Let's do a quick test of something else. Let's look at Podman. I'm interested in checking out Podman. So let's check out Heimdall, see how Heimdall is running. So again, 7990 is the IP address. Let's go to the console. Let's do an IPA. It's 129, right? So there we go. Heimdall's up and running, right? Again, super quick. You can see here, you click, you update app list. Again, it's updating the stuff. Very, very quick. It's more than honestly enough for a home server to get your feet wet with Proxmox. So you can see here you can do pretty much most of the things as far as a home server is concerned. The only thing I would say that this would struggle with is the media servers, right? Because again, this is a virtualized machine running a fairly modest CPU, and the biggest issue is, of course, the memory, the lack of a GPU. I mean, it does have an integrated GPU. You can always pass that through, but storage, right? You're not gonna. Where are you gonna store all these hard drives in a mini like this, right? This one, if I'm not mistaken, it has a SATA bay and one NVMe bay in there. So technically speaking, you could set up a 1 terabyte, you know, Plex server, right? Yeah, it's going to be consumed very, very quickly. I don't think that this platform is good for a Plex server. Now, that being said, you could, in a pinch, point this to a NAS that has all your files and use this to, encode videos or decode whatever it is. It may or may not run, depending if you're one, maybe two users, not doing 4K content. Should be okay. 1080p should be okay. But the minute you go into 4K content and more than one or two users, then you're going to face an issue with this machine. Okay. Last couple of things I would like to do as far as maintenance work is concerned is as follows. Apt install htop. Htop is not installed on Proxmox by default, which I find very odd, but here we go. Htop, you can see here all the VMs and whatnot are running. I also like to install bpytop. The way I like doing that is apt install python 3-pip. Let it do its install thing. This is basically installing the Python 3 PIP package manager with Python, of course. And as you can see, I mean, the performance of this machine is more than sufficient. And the last thing we're going to do once this is installed is install bpytop. I find bpytop really good when it comes to diagnosing issues. So pip install bpytop. Done. And we're going to go, and this is how what bpytop looks like. There we go. It's a little bit more graphical. I like the fact that it gives you the temperatures, the CPU core speed over htop. So I do like using both. It gives you your network bandwidth Very, very nice. I love BPY top. We are going to install one more thing. So the last thing we're going to do is install NetData. Again, NetData is a really nice open source tool to detect any issues in your system. So we're going to do NetData. There's actually a NetData script that's really easy to install. It should be right here on their website. Get NetData. And here we go. So if you want to do NetData, very simple command is here. So very simple command would be here is you can use either wget or curl. Let's check if wget is installed. It is. So we're going to use a wget version right over here. Copy this, go here, and paste this in. Hit enter. Give this a minute or two to compile and install and set up. Do you want to continue? Yes, we definitely want to continue. Perfect. So it is successfully installed. Okay, so once you've signed into NetData, there we go. You can see your nodes automatically pops up. So that's your PVE2 node. You can see it's installed on bare metal, and you can see all these nodes. So there we go. The server is pretty much done. As you can see here, even with HTOP, CPU utilization is not that much. You can see here it's barely hovering at under 5%. It does spike from time to time depending on what it's doing. But as you can see, everything looks good. And even with NetData, we do have all the real-time information from the server coming in. So you can definitely monitor your server, see what's happening on your server, kind of narrow down where the bottlenecks are. There we go. That's it. This server is done. It was that easy. Honestly, it didn't take a lot of time. We have installed a lot of things. You saw the performance. It's quite performant. Now, as you move forward in time with using Proxmox, one of the things that I highly recommend is to have some sort of external storage attached to Proxmox, meaning a NAS preferably, or at least at the very minimum another disk where you can do backups on. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. I'm going to go to data center, and I'm going to go to storage, and I'm going to add a NFS storage. I'm going to call the IDs unraid because I have an unraid server. It's the IP address is 10.10.10.140. And if I go to the export, I should be able to see Proxmox over here. This is where I do all my backups. I'm going to hit add, and you're going to see it pop up here in a second. There we go. Unraid PVE2. You can see here it's my unraid server is 28 terabytes out of 42. And if I go back to data center and if I go to backup, I'm going to hit add, and there we go. So I'm going to say schedule is every day at 2100 hours, or in my case I want to do it at 0200, so 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to select all the LXCs and the containers. I'm going to do a snapshot, CSTD, email not that necessary. And as far as retention goes, I like keeping at least 7 days worth of backups, right? So in case an update comes or something happens and I want to roll back, I have 7 days. Now you can adjust this, but do keep in mind that this will consume a fair amount of space depending on what you're backing up. So 7 days worth of backups, we're talking at least 3-4 terabytes easily. So I'm going to create 7 days of backups, and there we go. So that is to me a well set up Proxmox machine, a single node. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and as always, happy ITing.